Good morning. Our lesson plan is going to teach Group 2 to read sentences fluently, and then they will be able to read sight words without images. The children in Group 2 are going to be Elijah, Ethan, Charismo, and Santana. We chose to focus on this group because they have mastery over several sight words with images, and we really wanted to strengthen their reading mastery and reading sight words without images. We're going to be reading Pete the Cat and the Cool Caterpillar as our mentor text because we feel it's at a good level to encourage young readers. Our lesson plan objectives are students will read sight words without image prompting, and students will read full sentences by themselves. And our standard was know and apply grade level phonics and word analysis skills in decoding words, read grade level high fluency sight words.
Now, to summarize our student data, first we have Elijah. He sometimes needs more time to complete certain tasks than the rest of the students, so he'll be given a little extra time to finish the task than the others. And then for Charisma and Santana tends to struggle with short E's, so we're going to pair Charisma and Santana together because Charisma is more fluent with short E and they can help each other get through the sentences.
Now we're going to read the book page by page to show fluency. Pete is on a bug safari. He and his friends are looking for bugs. How many bugs can they find?
Callie spots a tiny black ant. It's building an anthill, she says. Groovy, says Pete. Gus finds a round red ladybug in the mint patch. It has 9 spots, says Gus. Nice, says Pete.
Marty sees a big black spider. It caught a fly, he says. Neat, says Pete. Pete finds a green caterpillar in the flower pot. I will bring it home to show Mom and Dad, he says.
Mom helps Pete build a home for the caterpillar. They use a big jar. Dad puts lots of little holes in the lid for air. Pete puts the caterpillar in the jar.
Pete puts some leaves in the jar for the caterpillar to eat. He adds a twig for it to crawl on. Good night, Pete, says Mom. Good night, Pete, says Dad. Good night, caterpillar, says Pete.
When Pete wakes up, the caterpillar is gone. Where did it go? Did it run away? It is not gone, says Mom. It did not run away, says Dad. Look, they say.
The caterpillar is inside there, says Mom. It's called a pupa. Will it stay there forever? Pete asks. No, says Dad. The caterpillar is changing into something new.
What will it become? Asks Pete. It's a surprise, says Mom. We must wait and see. Pete waits. Callie comes to visit. Did it come out yet? She asks. Not yet, says Pete.
Pete waits some more. Gus comes to visit. Did it come out yet? He asks. Not yet, says Pete. Pete waits even longer. Marty comes to visit. Did it come out yet? He asks. Not yet, says Pete.
Pete waits and waits and waits. Then one day, something finally happens.
The pupa starts to wiggle. Something is happening, says Pete. It wiggles some more. Everyone comes over to watch. The pupa cracks open. Something is coming out. What can it be?
A head pokes out, then some legs, and then 2 colorful wings. The caterpillar changed into a beautiful butterfly. Wow, says Pete.
The butterfly slowly moves its wings up and down. It is ready to fly. They take the jar to the park. Time to say goodbye, says Dad. Pete opens the lid of the jar.
The butterfly flaps its wings. It flutters out of the jar and lands on Pete's nose. That tickles, he says. Then the butterfly flies up into the sky. Bye bye, butterfly, everyone says.
Let's find a new caterpillar, says Pete. Change is pretty cool.
The end.
The end.
Alright, for this part of the video, I'm going to be playing the role of the teacher and Sydney will be the student. So today, class, we are going to focus on our sight words and reading fluency. This will help you all to become better readers and to identify more sight words. Now,
It's very important.
it's okay. It's okay. What can you guys tell me about sight words?
Sight words. Um, are they the easy ones that you read in books?
Yeah, kind of. They're kind of the words that we see and hear often. Is there any sight words that you know?
I think we talked about is
Yeah.
a the
Do you know one more?
mm, says.
Good job. Yeah.
This next part of the video is to demonstrate some of the struggles that Group 3 works on during the lessons with reading fluency and reading the sight words without images. I will be playing the part of the student and she'll be the teacher again. Okay. Pete is on a bug safari. We and his friends are looking for bugs. How many bugs can they find? Callie spots a tiny black ant. It's building an anthill, she says. Groovy, says Pete. Gus finds a round red ladybug in the mint patch. It has 9 spots, says Gus. Nice, says Pete. Marty sees a big black spider. It caught a fly, he says. Neat, says Pete. Pete will find a green Pete finds a green caterpillar in the flower pot. I will bring it home to show Mom and Dad, he
Let's go
says.
back. What is this word? What does it sound like to you?
W eh ul.
Good job. There's no WH, is there?
No.
No. So it's will. It's not while, right?
Will.
Good job. Can you read that sentence again?
I will bring it home to show Mom and Dad, he
Good job.
says.
Okay, now that we've read some of the book, we're going to talk about some things that happened. So, can anyone tell us what happened during the story?
Pete went out with his friends and caught some bugs.
Do you know what kind of bugs Pete caught?
He caught a caterpillar.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you remember what happened to the caterpillar at the end?
turned into a butterfly. And then he caught an ant and a ladybug.
Yes. And do you remember he also caught a spider?
Oh,
Yeah, that was one of the
Yeah.
animals he caught. All right, so now we're going to go over some sight words and we're going to practice and make sure that we can say them all correctly. So, what's our first word?
Will. I remember reading that one wrong the first time and then fixing it. So.
Good job. All right, our next one.
We.
Next one.
There.
Yep.
Tis.
Oh, close. There's an H. So, how do we pronounce TH?
The is.
Good job.
This. Come. Am. Read. Have.
Good job. And you notice there's an E on it, but it's silent, right?
Yes.
Next word.
What.
Good job.
Into.
Yep.
At. Note.
Well, there's no E at the end, so, and it's also not. Because,
Not.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not a long O sound, it's a short O. All right, and then we have a free space. And then what's our next word?
Two.
An easy one.
Big. Is. She. My.
Good job.
Go. We're.
Close. It's where. Do you notice why it's not what you said before?
The H.
Yes, because there's an H. Good job. And then what's our
Where.
next word? If you have trouble, remember you can tap it out.
Uh, at
Good job.
That.
Remember before you got TH wrong, you just said it this time.
can, little,
Good job.
we,
Close. You said it correctly in the book when we were reading. It has a H, so it's
he.
yeah. So you know, and you did we up here. So
I
no,
see.
can you say we?
We.
And you hear the difference? W, e,
What?
and then he,
He. He.
yes. And then their last word.
You.
Good job, you.
Okay. Now we're going to do the guided practice, and I'm going to be taking the role of the teacher, and Tia will be taking the role of the student. So we're going to transition. All right, now that we finished reading the first half of the book, I want you to read the second half and then tell me what are some of the sight words that you see without me telling you about them, okay?
Okay. Okay. Pete puts some leaves in. That's a sight word we did, right?
Yes.
The jar for the caterpillar to
It's okay.
to eat. He adds a twig for it to crawl on. Good night, Pete, says Mom. Good night, Pete, says Dad. We said says was a sight word before, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Good night, caterpillar, says Pete. When Pete wakes up, the caterpillar is gone. I see the a lot. Is that a sight word?
That is a sight word. It's one of the most common sight words out there.
Wow. Where did it go? Where did it run away? It is not gone, says Mom. It did not run away, says Dad. Look, they say. I think they is a sight word. I see that pretty often too.
I think so too.
The caterpillar is inside there, says Mom. It's called a pupa. I think a is a sight word too.
Yes, very common.
Will it stay in there forever? Pete asks. No, says Dad. The caterpillar is changing into something new. What will it become? Pete asks. It's a surprise, says Mom. We must wait and see. I think and is a sight word. And I think see might be a sight word.
I think so too.
Okay.
Very good. All right, now for our closure, we're going to just ask you some questions and then just answer as best as you can, okay? All right, so what did we do today to help improve your sight word skills?
We practice the different sounds and how to say them properly, and also pay attention to the words, the letters we can't hear, but they're still there.
Very good. And when would you use these sight word skills again?
When we're reading and when we have to write our sentences.
Yep, say it like almost every day, right?
Every day.
And is there something that you still find confusing?
A bit of the longer sight words, but I think I'm getting better at it.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
I noticed when you were reading earlier, if you messed up, you went back and read it. It was very good.